All right, I have another drone for you guys. This is my second drone review, and this one is a lot better than the one I did before. It was so easy for me, maybe because I knew what I was doing. And this one is a Holystone HS720G for $339. It's a pretty sweet deal. So here goes, pretty awesome case. You know, the other one had a satchel, but this one, I think you just need it to open wide so you can see your stuff, you get easy access to your stuff. And one of my tricks is it needs a phone. If you want the features, is to just have an old phone and not use your existing phone, because the new phones are heavier anyway. And this one is dedicated to just this drone. So pro tip right there. First thing I'll show you is a transmitter. The transmitter, it's got some heft to it. You know, I like it. It's got these big handles right here. And then it's a little bit of a science experiment to prop it open. This thing's locked. I had to read the manual how to get these antennas out. And then you have to twist the antenna, turn it on, and then to mount the phone, you have to pull this thing out like way hard, and then flip this thing up. And then now you can mount your phone. All right. Now you're in business. You know, my friends say, hey, if you're gonna get a drone, get a remote with the screen already, so you don't have to use your phone. But if you have an old phone, I think $200 and the phone that's not used, that's pretty good, right? So you got some accessories here, spare blade. I think the battery came in here. And some wires, USB-C wire, and then the drone. Let's get to the drone. Okay, here's the drone. 330 grams for this drone. So a lot of the drones, like the DJI Mini, are 250-gram drones, and the Ruco that I reviewed. And the reason they're 250 is there's a law that says if you're over 250, you have to register the drone. So a lot of these companies, they wanted to get away from that law. But registration is not a big deal. You're really just saying, hey, this is me, this is my drone, here's my $6. But obviously another extra step. So what I noticed right away with this drone is it's pretty sturdy. I like it. The arms, they're not gonna break that easily. And in fact, just today, I crashed it twice. So you need to hang on to that to the footage and see how this thing survived. So this is your battery. It only comes with one battery, but it's fairly big. USB-C charge. You just slam that in there. Let's turn this baby on. Okay. Oh, I had my remote turned on, so now they're talking right away. The big thing about this drone, HS720, is the G. The G stands for gimbal. Now it has gimbal, meaning the image is now stabilized by a gimbal. The Ruco that I had didn't have a gimbal. I found that useless for video, and the old version of this didn't have a gimbal. So you can take pictures with it, but you really can't take video. All right, so there is the camera. Oh, is it moving? Oh yeah, you can see it gimbaling. He goes, yeah, it's keeping itself level. Oh yeah, that's what a gimbal does. Pro tip number 2 is, if you have a dedicated phone, is make it look for the Wi-Fi of the drone right away. It's a Ruco Wi-Fi. It's gonna pick up your house Wi-Fi, and you have to switch it every time, and that's a pain. Okay, so the app is pretty cool. The camera, you could zoom in and out. Look at that. Super cool. And then it has all these features Um, so you can take photo or video, and you have a micro SD card in the drone. It also can capture it in the phone, but not as high resolution. And here you adjust the picture, the saturation. Ooh, interesting. Brightness, nostalgic, grayscale, and then the ISO you can adjust. So that's pretty cool. Let's do auto ISO. I was doing some sunset, so I wanted to set the ISO myself. And then you have some settings here: beginner mode, unit of measurement, maximum distance. So it has lift height limit. It has a slow mode and fast mode. And at fast mode, it is pretty fast. The sensor status, calibrate the sensor. All right. And then one thing I noticed with this drone is the GPS is pretty darn good. One of the problems I had with the Ruko is the GPS would just not lock. Yeah, not here in my house. I go to a nice reservoir and it will no GPS lock, and so I couldn't fly it. These things are GPS drones, which is key to making them fly easily, stay in place, and come back to you when trouble happens. And so if you don't have a good GPS lock, that's just hell. Meaning it's gonna crash, it's gonna go away, and that happened to me a few times. Okay. All right, and then some features here. Follow me. You can follow. It follows the remote or the phone, I believe. Point of interest, headless mode. Point of interest, you can set waypoints in a map. Headless mode. Please confirm headless mode. The drone will enter headless mode. I'm not actually sure what that is. I have not tried that. And then the all-important hover or come to circle around a point of interest, and then there's another one here. Oh, this one is the come home mode. I'm in trouble. Come home, and this thing. It makes it hard to lose this drone because when it's running out of battery, it's gonna come home. When it gets out of range, it's gonna come home. All this stuff. So a lot easier. But I think a good friend of mine, said, "Hey, if you're gonna play with a drone and it doesn't have tracking, just put an Apple AirPod, not AirPod, Apple AirTag on it. That way you don't lose it." So another tip there. Okay. So what else? What's really cool is I'm not an experienced drone pilot, but I had no trouble with this one. It's been reliable. I fly it here at my house in a tight space, and it's been hassle free. And then the pictures I get from it are pretty darn good. The video to a 4K video, so I like it. I haven't figured out a way to format the SD card from the remote, so that's been a little bit of a pain. These drones, when you're going and then you stop, it just kind of goes like this. It has this whiplash effect. And so I stopped near a tree, and then it just kept going. It kept whiplashing, and it just kind of confused me. What's cool is it just smashed the leaves and the twigs so many times until it got stuck. And I go, oh man, those blades are crushed. And then we hit it with a stick, super long stick, and it fell to the ground. I go, oh, smack, it's broken, but no problem. I flew it right away. This battery lasts quite a long time too. So only downsides I would say are, upsides, it's $209. $209 for a real drone that has 4K and mechanical stabilization. That's pretty darn cool. And it's easy to fly. I like the remote. The downsides I would say is there's a light on the front or the rear, but none in the front. So it's hard to see your orientation when you're flying. I think it's so much easier when there's a green light and red light, front and back, and it lets you know where you are. Another one, I'm not sure if this is a characteristic of all drones, but whenever, my favorite shot is to do a horizon shot like that and turn, and it's just so jerky. The video is just so jerky. You almost have to be moving all the time for the gyro to work. So that's a little downside. And then, maybe another downside is there's a lot of drift. So I just turned the drone, I'm flying, right? I'm hovering. you know, and then I just pirouette like this, and it just kind of dances for a while. I'm like, oh, where are you going? And then it'll settle in to where you started your move. So I don't know if that's normal, but it seems to be more than I'm expecting. So there you go, Holy Stone. I also see Holly Stone, but it's Holy Stone drone. They have a lot of drones, even cheaper than this. Maybe I'll try a few of them. And then I'm just gonna take off right here. See how fast this thing will go. And it takes off pretty fast. It elevates real nice. And then this is the actual picture video from the camera. The still photos are about the same quality. So I'm pretty impressed. And it's got a gimbal, obviously. Now the gimbal, when you go rotate the drone, it is kind of jerky. Yeah, I think the gimbal only does up and down in the angular motion, but when you rotate it to the side, there's no stabilization there. You can help it with a video editor stabilization. So there you go. It's so cool that even on windy, stormy days, I feel safe enough to fly at my house. And then I just press the go home button. It seems to be the easiest way to land. There you go. Look at that descent. Very fast descent, and then with about 6 feet to go, it slows down. And always a pretty comfortable descent. Alright, I'm here in Santa Cruz after a bike ride, and I'm playing with this drone. Again, a little breeze. It's got a decent parking lot. And familiarizing myself with the controls. There you go, going towards me. Low level, high level. Obviously no collision avoidance, so you gotta watch out for those trees and those light poles. That's all on you. There you can see the side-to-side movement is a little jerky, but when you go move and fast forward, it's smooth. Smooth, and the camera levels itself. Super cool. And I tested the spin around me. I'm a point of interest spin around me. It's pretty cool. The camera wasn't centered on me the whole time, so I don't think it has that technology. And then here I do a follow me. Oh, here it's spinning around me, and you'll see I go out of frame for a little bit. So I'm not sure how to keep myself centered, or if that's possible. Yeah, so I'm the point of interest. You can also do waypoints, put some spots on the map, but I didn't have enough space here. And then I'm gonna do a follow me. I'm just gonna walk around and to see if it follows me, and that works pretty darn good. Love it. So one thing I love about the drone is it's easy, it's cheap, it's easy, it feels safe, solid on some wind conditions, and it's just kind of an ideal tripod, you know. I love the sky, I love the landscape, but often you can't see it. You're blocked by buildings and trees, so I have to go on a hill. It takes me half hour to drive up to a hill to see the sunset. But with this drone, I just boom, prop it up. It's sitting in my car, so it only takes me 2 minutes to turn it on, and then boom, it's up in the air taking pictures. And I get my pictures. So sometimes I can decide whether I want to go to a scenic vista or not. So pretty cool. DJI is cool, but it's not $200 like these guys. So it's a really good way to enter and learn. And really the footage, the video and photos are pretty darn usable. So I'm pretty jazzed recommending this to you folks. You know, as you explore, as you overland, as you do your adventures, and even if just at home, you get to know your local area.